Today I messed up by using coconut oil to eat ass. This FU occurs after a recent innovation in the bedroom. Coconut oil. It's great. It's solid until it's on your skin, and then it's a wonderful long-lasting lubricant that tastes delicious and is easy to clean up afterward. It's been my go-to with my partner for a few months now whenever I'm down on that ass. What is the FU, you ask? Me and my coconut oil-loving partner decided on a Thai food double date. My partner orders a bowl of coconut curry. I get some fried rice. See where this is going yet. She offers me a bite of her curry, I accept. Instant boner. The curry tastes just like I'm going to town on her booty. Coconut oil heaven. So there I am, rock hard, sitting at a table with our best friends. Doing my best to hide my extremely inappropriate physical reaction to an otherwise perfectly delicious but decidedly not sexy coconut curry. My partner thinks this is wonderful. Too long. Didn't read, I've Pavloved myself into getting a boner whenever I taste coconut. Today I messed up by almost committing a war crime. Obligatory, not today. This was about 10 years ago. I started doing stand-up when I was in the army, in Afghanistan, actually. I started telling stories around the fire at night, but eventually started doing shows in the chow hall or during talent shows if we were on a bigger base at the time. It wasn't uncommon for me to do so badly that I lost people during these shows. I even had a platoon op to go on patrol early rather than watch my whole set. I was less fun than possibly dying. I wanted to get better, so I ordered a book and started working on trying to improve crowd work, talking to the audience, and being more physical. I figured if I could make the interpreters laugh with the language barrier, I'd be on my way to being a better comic. During our next patrol, we detained several suspected Taliban fighters. We needed to keep them on our base until they could get picked up by intel people, so we needed to watch them for 2 days. I thought the idea of a literal captive audience was too good to pass up and basically tried to do crowd work and run bits by them in an incredibly animated manner. Imagine Sebastian Maniscalco, but 2 months into comedy. I volunteered for as many guard duty shifts as I could. I'd try jokes, I'd ask for their names and where they were from, jobs, etc., anything I could try to make a joke about. Never a single laugh. Eventually, they got picked up and apparently one complained about my jokes specifically. I ended up getting a stern talking to for unconventional interrogation because I kept asking where they were from and what they did and had to explain that I was so bored and desperate to get better at comedy that I almost inadvertently committed a war crime. Too long. Didn't read, I performed stand-up comedy for detained Taliban members that went so badly they accused me of war crimes. Got a stern talking to for that. Today I messed up by falsely claiming to speak fluent French to my wife's parents 6 years ago, and now we're going to Paris together. This mess up started 6 years ago when I met my wife's parents for the first time. Thought I had been determined to make a great first impression. Ma and Pa weren't thrilled about their country girl being stolen away from them by a city boy. Conversation was stiffer than John Mayer's penis at 4 a.m. on a Friday night, but somehow it veered into the French category. I think we were talking about the Civil War. Ma stated she'd always wanted to learn the language. I thought I'd win her over by telling a joke. A few years ago I didn't speak any French, but now I can speak fluently. Apparently it is parler liquide. Well, they didn't quite catch my wit, apparently speaking neither French nor sarcasm. Before this, they'd been cold to me at best, but now they were treating me like I was the Queen of France, before the Revolution. At first, I thought they simply loved my joke. Oohing and ahhing. Asking me to speak more French. Weird, I thought, since the joke wasn't that funny, but maybe it was their cup of tea. Glass of wine? Jokes about French maybe was their thing. I proceeded to recite the only other French joke I know. A cat named 123 and another one named un, deux, trois were crossing a river. One made it across. Which one? 1, 2, 3 because union, deux, trois, cat resync. They loved that one too. Looking back on it, they didn't understand it at all. When they started asking me about where I learned it, how long it took, if I'd be willing to teach them, it dawned on me. It being the first time meeting my wife's family, me fearing the awkward, and her dad looking like he chops trees with his bare hands, I made the split-second decision to lie. And lied I have these past 6 years. My relationship with my wife's parents has grown steady. I've spent far more time with them than I ever anticipated. I would have been comfortable coming clean to them, had it not been for the fact that the Frenchness is my entire identity, my being, my worth to them now. I have become a caricature. Fearing they'd suspect otherwise, I way overdid it early on, which means I've had to keep it up at express pace this entire time. My wife thinks it's hilarious, which is why she hasn't said anything, and the lie has gone on far too long for me to say anything. Every Christmas the family gets together and I gift them French wines, despite never having been there. I sometimes say merde after intentionally dropping something in front of them, and I even learned how to make baguettes. I occasionally wear a beret and they love me for it. So much so that they decided to invite the entire family to Paris for their 30th anniversary next year, after the pandemic. They're so excited and they're talking about how I can translate for them and take them places only locals would know of, and how I've inspired them to finally visit France. My wife's parents are not wealthy people. It is a grand gesture from them paying for my vacation to Europe. I know I've got to tell them. I can't back out of it, my wife would kill me. And I can't wait for them to find out in France, my wife would kill me. It's so frustrating because it's such a small mess up that has built up to this tremendous thing over the past few years. I have no idea what will happen once they know, but I'm not eager to find out. Too long. Didn't read, wife's parents didn't understand a joke, thought I spoke French. Me being afraid of awkwardness, doubled down and became French despite speaking no French at all. Now they're taking me to real French people and I am screwed.